Hello, this is Jessica. I'm here with Amanda from Room in the Inn. Amanda, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. My name is Amanda Fernandez. I'm with Room in the Inn. I'm one of the Congregational Shelter Coordinators.
Awesome. Can you tell me a little bit about what Room in the Inn does?
Sure. So traditionally, Room in the Inn has been a single site of services for people experiencing homelessness here in Nashville. We have our day services facility, which allows people to come in out of the elements because the sun can be as brutal as the snow. And so we keep regular business hours there, but we invite caseworkers from other agencies to come in and meet with their clients on our campus, just to cut down on that transportation barrier that can be a barrier for people. We also provide showers, clothes, laundry to people who are in need, as well as mail services. We have over 1,000 individuals who receive mail with us, because if you think about it, the first thing you are missing when you become homeless is a mailbox and a place to have your important documents sent. We also do have some residential programs. Those are all vetted through various agencies and routes to get with us, but our guest house is traditionally an alternative to jail for the publicly intoxicated. So there's a lot that goes on our campus, along with providing, and Brentwood UMC is huge in this, providing meals 5 days a week, lunchtime meals to the greater population. So
That's awesome. Can you tell me what volunteers do pre-COVID life?
Okay, we're talking pre-COVID here? Perfect. Okay. Volunteers do pretty much everything on our campus. So Room in the Inn is this unique community of over 5,000 volunteers around Middle Tennessee. So we have volunteers working in your congregation. Brentwood has been a part of us for a very long time, and we're very grateful. To host guests in the wintertime, or to come and to bring those lunchtime meals that I was just talking about. We also have volunteers on our campus daily pre-COVID, teaching classes. Actually, they're the ones who do the laundry. They are the ones who make certain that we are able to offer the level of hospitality that is central to our core values and who we are as an agency and a greater community. Over the past 35 years, we have grown in an unimaginable fashion that would be very difficult for our very small staff to maintain that high level of dignity that we consider paramount to serving people in this situation.
Awesome. Can you tell me a little bit about how y'all have had to adapt during COVID times?
Oh, adaption, right? That's a buzzword for all of us. So one thing we have not done is close our doors. We have remained open every single day since the pandemic began. We have been building this plane as we're flying it, though. And one way that we've adapted, so if anyone in your community has been down to our campus, we typically serve an average of 200 to 300 people a day in our day center, again, getting them out of the elements. We can't do that anymore. There are regulations and there's things we have to follow. So we've been working closely with the health department and local health officials. And what we've done is our staff is working from a tent on the street in front of our building, Drexel Street. So our staff is down there. Our gates are closed to control the flow and social distancing. But our staff is working from a tent, nothing fabulous, no air conditioning. They do have a Mr. Fan finally, but it's truly just one of those sports tents if you are tailgating somewhere, things like that. They're working out of that. They're providing, though, on a daily basis, showers to people, laundry services to people. We have a campus general store where people can exchange points and things for new items. That is still operating. Our mail services are still operating. We have cut back significantly on the number of people who are in our building, but we are still serving, even with our limited services, an average of about 175 people a day from the street. So our meals are still being provided. They're just being boxed up and served as individual servings. We are working, our staff is working. You'll notice I am not in the office. This is my home. Our staff is working in teams. We've been split down the middle. We have team 1 and team 2. We do not cross paths, really. That's in case someone is exposed or does hopefully not get the virus, and so that others can step in. So we've divided our teams. We are working through Zoom. We are a community built on relationships, and it feels right now like a lot of what we're doing is just transactional. So we're using, now that we've kind of hit a stride, we know where we're at. We're not trying to jump too far ahead because we have the safety of so many people in our hands. So we're working in blocks of time. We'll look in September at what might need to change next. But right now, we've limited our services. We're still helping in the best way possible people to move forward, get the care that they need. But our priority are those essential services, the showers, the clothes, the laundry, keeping people as healthy and as clean as possible. We've even set up a mobile hand washing station down on Drexel Street, the street in front of our building. It's just a little mobile sink. It's pretty interesting, all of the things that are available if you know what you need. So that's what we're doing.
That's awesome. So how have y'all seen God's provision during this time?
I might get a little emotional talking about this. One of the greatest things that we have seen is the way that the men and women that we claim to serve, although we're all working together in this, have responded to the changes. Their lives were much like everyone else, but their lives were changed overnight without warning, without, and they're not getting fed the same information we're being fed. They're trusting us to give them accurate, up-to-date information, and they're responding, and they're responding beautifully. And I mean, I go to the grocery store and you can't get people to wear their masks. They're willing to do it because they want to keep us safe. Willing to do it because they know that they live in community with a lot of other people, very close quarters with a lot of other people. Granted, they don't want the virus either, but the way that they're responding to the new rules, the new regulations, I mean, they can't even come and go in our building the way that they used to. They accept it. They accept us. I'm sorry, baby. They accept us with grace and with understanding. And is there a way I can make that stop for a second?
Yeah.
Amelia got called away this morning. He's an educator, and so he had to jet, and here we are. I was like, we'll make it work. Okay, I'm back. But yes, it's the way our the number one thing, yes, everyone is dealing with funding and trying to figure that out. Everyone's dealing with staffing patterns and trying to figure that out. But for us, it's really about how the participants are responding to us. I'm sorry, I haven't done our hair this morning.
Okay. That's awesome. So can you share any stories of transformation?
Transformation, how? Just
Whether it be with volunteers or with staff or the people served, just
okay. I need you to be respectful and just give me one moment, please. Yes, absolutely. I think a primary story, it's difficult to speak to that right now because we are working in silos, and it's uncharted territory for us to be that way. I can speak to my situation and what has happened. I've been with Room in the Inn for 16 years. I started volunteering though when I was 10. So, 20 years, not really, a long time. I've been with Rumi a very long time. Over the course of time, I've watched as our population has shifted. I've watched as our programs have shifted. And something that I think is happening now that is truly divine is that our staff who are new, our participants who are new, people who are not lifers in this community are seeing now the power of creating a space where people can truly come together, especially given the climate all over the world right now. Creating a space where acceptance takes precedent over tolerance. There's acceptance among our staff in the fact that we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. There's acceptance among our participants that our staff is going to do the very best they can for them, and we may not always get it right, and that's okay. Watching us shift as a community from tolerance to true acceptance, I think, has been transformative. And it is a transformation that is continuing. It is ever changing, and we are ever growing, and no one is perfect. We don't get it right all the time. But watching that acceptance grow and blossom among people who, haven't committed haven't necessarily found vocation in this, or didn't choose this. Our participants didn't choose this. And so just watching that without resignation, though, there is still hope inside of the acceptance. I think that is the most divine experience we're having right now.
That's powerful. So how can Bumpsy stay in support during this time?
Perfect. So I know that it's difficult to navigate. We're in difficult waters, but ways that you all can continue to support Rumi in is through the same means that you always have. While your volunteers may not be comfortable, and actually right now we're not even having volunteers on site, but still preparing meals and bringing them. We will serve those meals with the same dignity that Brentwood brings to it. And it's beautiful, and Brentwood shows up with the condiments and the hot dogs, and it's just fantastic. The choices, we will still provide those trauma-informed choices, but still providing those things. Winter shelter is coming. I'm not putting anyone on blast, Scott, I promise, but winter shelter is coming. So how, if you can't host guests on your campus, how to stay involved, and I would be a contact for that and happy to help. But all of the ways you have supported us in the past are still available. They just look different. All of the ways that you were able to fill your cup through Room in the Inn are still available. They just look different. So really, if you're able to keep on keeping on, that's the way to do it.
Awesome. So how can we be in prayer for Room in the Inn?
I think the best things, the same ways we're all in prayer for Room in the Inn. The obvious is funding, and the obvious is that we can continue in the community, and that we can respond as dutifully and as quickly and as responsibly as possible. We're lay people making decisions that involve people's lives, and we can't even pull them into the boardroom to talk to them about what those needs are. We're having to observe them. So the power of discernment, the power of losing our pride, in adjustment, those are the best things you could do for us right now. Mm-hmm.
So that was my last specific question. Is there anything else you'd like to share?
Besides my crying baby, really just a thank you, a very sincere, I'm gonna stop her real quick, I'm sorry. But I think that I just want to say a sincere thank you on behalf of Room in the End. Brentwood, like I've said numerous times, has been involved for so long. The simple fact that we're doing this interview shows that you're still thinking of us, and truly just knowing that in the midst of everyone's chaos, that the chaos of people experiencing homelessness is not being lost, and that people are in prayer for us and people do want to support. And when I say us, I primarily mean our participants. That, thank you. That's really all.
Thank you. Y'all are doing awesome work.